Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists dental associates with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about dental associate offer letters. So if you receive a dental, or if you are a dental associate and you receive an offer letter from a potential employer, what should be in there? Is it binding? That type of thing. So first, what is an offer letter? It basically is just a letter that kind of summarizes the main components of the employment relationship between the dental associate and the practice. As far as what goes in it, normally the compensation, maybe how much notice you have to provide, 60, 90 days. What are the restrictive covenants? So is there a non-compete? What are the main components of it? Is there a non-solicitation clause? What are the benefits of the position? Do they cover, your license and DEA registration and malpractice? It will generally not be very detailed. It'll just hit the main highlights. And then what would happen is after you sign the offer letter, then they would generally move it forward, send it to their attorney to draft the specifics of the contract. Now, is an offer letter negotiable? Obviously, yes, it is. The main terms of any employment agreement are generally negotiable, and you should do so before signing the offer letter. Now, is the offer letter binding? For the most part, no, unless it specifically says, which is extraordinarily rare, where you would find an offer letter that contains some kind of language that states it's binding. It's not binding. So you could sign an offer letter with specific terms, but then receive the employment contract and yet still negotiate the terms of what you agree to in the offer letter. Now, on a practical level, the employer probably isn't going to appreciate that. In their mind, they're going to think, well, they signed the offer letter with these terms, so we expect them to accept them. However, in my experience, the specific language in a contract can change what is in the offer letter just based upon the specific language. And let me just give you an example. Maybe the non-compete said, oh, it's 1 year and 5 miles. Great. And then you look in the contract and it's 1 year and 5 miles from, maybe they're a practice that has 10 locations in a city. And oh no, it's not 5 miles from the specific location where you're working. It's 5 miles from every location. Well, that changes things dramatically. Perhaps you grew up in a city, have family in a city, you absolutely can't leave. Well, this is now a key component that you had no idea about through the offer letter. And you say, look, this is a terrible non-compete. Either it needs to be amended. Yes, I agreed to 1 year and 5 miles, but you didn't tell me it applied to 10 different locations. So that's something you can negotiate. Compensation perhaps could change as well. I mean, a base salary is a base salary. That's not going to change, but maybe some of the productivity incentives were not so clear in the offer letter. And then when you look at it, okay, well, you said potential $50,000 bonus. And then when you look at the particularities of the contract, it's an impossible RVU threshold or an impossible net collections threshold, that there's no chance I can get 50,000 in productivity. Therefore, to take in consideration, it's an unlikely bonus. I want a higher base salary. So these are things that can appear great when you sign the offer letter, but then when you look at the contract itself, maybe not so great. So you don't feel like you have to be stuck with the terms of what's in the offer letter when you get the employment agreement. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, that potentially could tick off the employer, but look, you're justified in asking for changes if the language in the contract substantially changes what was ultimately in the offer letter. So that's a little primer on offer letters for dental associates. They can be negotiated. I would suggest you do. If you have any questions about an offer letter, employment agreement, independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the information listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.